Hi, hello, how are you all this fine day? I hope that if you're here, you subscribe to this channel if you're not already, and you check out everything that is down below. We've got my website, my social media, and an email newsletter. It's great, a really fun time. Go wild with it. Now, I have received a few different comments from lovely people who happen to be people that are supporting young autistic people, whether it's older slightly or child, whatever the heck. And they asked me about how I think they can be best supported. Like, how can I do better by them? Which, first off, if you're asking that question, regardless if it's your own child or someone else's that is neurodiverse, that's just something that was really thoughtful that a lot of young people never even get the chance to receive that kind of care. So shout out to you people that make anyone that is autistic or neurodiverse feel acknowledged. And I want to preface that, if you can tell by the title, I didn't know I was autistic until recently, as in age 23. I was officially diagnosed. So my entire childhood then was undiagnosed, never even questioning ever if I was autistic or not, just based off of what we knew at that time about autism. And I would have never guessed it myself if I didn't look into it. And it was never put on the table in front of me. And I'm going to share a little bit about the things I kind of struggled with, and then kind of lead that to helping other young people who are going through this, whether they are diagnosed, suspected, or otherwise. So, like I mentioned, as a female person that, I got good grades, I had really high standards put in front of me, and that in turn instilled that perfectionist type of mentality that was just kind of there to begin with, and I clung to that. So I knew that I always had to work a lot harder than my peers to feel like I was even at like an equal playing field, regardless of my grades. In so many other aspects of relationships, especially developing friendships was and always has been really hard for me. I envied those that had really established best friends or friend groups that they could always rely upon, because I felt like I didn't really have that. And if I did, I always had that inkling that I was missing something, that I was an outsider in some regard, that everyone else felt more together and felt more like close. There was something special, and I didn't have that. And I felt, even if it was not intentional, I felt left out in my mind, in my kind of experience. So that was really hard, and that was prominent through my entire childhood, especially even going through high school and college. College I did not like, because that is such a huge component of it, of building community, and you have these high expectations of having your forever friends. Like, you're here and you're probably going to meet the love of your life and your bridesmaids and groomsmen, whatever the heck. And I didn't have that. So there was disappointment in myself, I think. A sense of expectation that I was placing on myself, because that's what I saw. All I saw was the neurotypical majority's experiences and standards, expectations that I felt like I needed to meet, and I knew I was always falling short. So that in turn led me to feeling like I just constantly beat myself up about it. And all that time, you know, if I knew at that point I was autistic, I think things might have been different. But, you know, I'm a strong believer that things happen for a reason, as is I am here before you today. So, key points for you to help other people. I think, again, simply validating and acknowledging the value and just feeling seen and heard as a neurodiverse autistic person. Meeting them wherever they might be. Having some sort of accommodations in place, whether that's for communication or learning or for relationships. There's a huge emphasis for autistic neurodiverse children I see with really toxic forms of therapy and places that are meant to be guidance and support that are actually just teaching kids how to mask and neglect who they authentically are to become what is what you should be, which is neurotypical. I think it's so necessary to really emphasize that you should not have to mask. You should be comfortable, whatever works best to feel comfortable, whether that is stimming if you need to, whether it's learning differently, communicating with others in verbal and nonverbal ways. If you have those resources already, utilize them. And if you don't, try and seek them out if possible. We don't all have the same privileges and access to what we rightfully need and deserve, but it's doing the best wherever you might be, wherever the young person might be. And those are just things I think you can carry on through your entire childhood, through your teenage years. It can just be a little bit more complicated, obviously, with the teenage type of things. But trying to have some sort of open dialogue, an open space where an autistic young person could ask questions or just kind of explore who they are and what actually works best for them. And that it's okay if you don't fit into a certain friend group or any friend group. It's okay if you need to do things differently, if you don't act or talk or look like other people. There's so much pressure to fit in and mold yourself to the majority, and especially for neurodiverse kids. That's where we need to really put our foot down and make sure that they feel like it's okay to really be themselves and really figure out who that is. I'd love to chat about this more. If you have any questions or thoughts, please leave them in the comments below. I really appreciate you watching, taking the time, subscribing, liking, all the things. So many blessings to you, and I will see you all next time.